everyone, welcome to Tellor Dev Call. January 21st, first day of the new administration here in the US. We're back. So, anyway, it's an exciting week. So the Solidity audit just got finished. We got the final report last week. We got the preliminary report for the chain code. So we're going to be making those changes, and hopefully we're done by the end of this week. That's the goal, is to be done and relaunched by the end of this week. But we're not going to promise it for you guys, just because software takes a long time, so it's going to be one of these things.
We just got feedback yesterday, or the preliminary report. So when we review it and when we see, when we review it, we'll be able to have a better idea of where timing.
If you're of the coding type and want to follow along in the GitHub, feel free. But yeah, that'll be good. Now we can kind of see what everybody's working on. Dan, how's things?
Yeah, pretty good. We're a little over halfway through the layer audit fixes. I'm just working on that more.
Super cool. Damn. Akram?
I was looking at the new issues that were added specifically about the dispute module. There's something about the rounds that I'm double checking. I feel like the issue is not accurate, although it does lead to some other things that I saw.
Okay.
And also there was one issue trying to iterate over a bunch of times. I couldn't run 100 validators. I maxed out at 40, but it's still easy to do the tests since you can just up the selectors or whatever.
But it's kind of a non-issue, is what you're saying.
We'll talk about that one. It's not. I don't think it's an issue, but there are optimizations we can do. So
nice. Cool. Spuddy, these things.
Great. On Friday, I reported our ETH Denver Challenge data to Layer totally manually, and now I'm trying to figure out how to do it manually with Tellor, and I think it's going to be easier than I thought.
You say that now, and then next week on the call, you're going to be like,
well, I see there's a lot of stuff there already. And other than that, checked all the ops stuff this morning. That's where I'm at.
Cool. Caleb, how's things?
Good. Just working on fixing some linting issues on our daemon changes for the reporter. That one's been running for 3 weeks now with no errors, reporting bridge stuff. So feeling good about that, and then just working through some of the audit fixes. I have 2 PRs that I'm putting together now for 2 of those issues, and gonna pick up more after that.
Awesome. Perfect. Yeah, make sure you guys are claiming them in the GitHub so we don't overlap. Again. But Tim?
Yeah, I'm also working through some of the audit fixes. I made a few last week that I pushed into your branch, Dan, actually. And then looks like there's some more for me to work on. And separate from that, I have some just non-audit but layer issues that have a PR on their way also.
Nice. All right, you guys are staying busy. Super cool. For me, Brenda, I'm waiting on approval from Brenda for an article. So you guys will get to read an article on prediction markets. I did. And then, just kind of buttoning up some code and stuff too. So Brenda, anything from your end before we hop into questions? No.
No, let's hop on the questions.
All right. I guess I can read them since Ryan's not here. He's usually the person, but all right. So from what is it, Threx? We got any thoughts on how the team could potentially factor into the AI agent narrative that has been picking up in recent months? In a future where more AI agents are active on chain, is it possible that some could benefit from using Tellor as an oracle and potentially even participating as reporters themselves? Is this an area of BD outreach the team has considered exploring? I have my thoughts. Anybody want to give their own thoughts before I?
Just that you know, there's going to be. Never mind. I don't know. Caleb will have
Taking over the world.
No. Yeah, we could definitely have AI agents reporting data.
Sure.
That's probably gonna happen.
It's kind of just the same risks as before. If your AI agent reports bad data, you'll get disputed, and it's on you to make sure your agent is accurate and not reporting bad data.
Yeah, the only thing that's better about an AI agent reporter, I think, is that they never sleep. So, like, if they know what to do in certain conditional situations, then they could act on your behalf when you're sleeping. That'd be one advantage. But how can Tellor, as it exists now, factor into the narrative?
Yeah. Anybody else? I mean, for me, like AI agent it's like a really weird rebrand from you had just the term bot, and now all of a sudden it's AI agent, and it's like very, very similar to me. I played around with it a little bit, but it's basically just like you're connecting your, some script to Claude or ChatGPT, and it's giving you answers for you. It's kind of in a lot of ways an automation tool. Like we could easily so the easy way to do it would be like for reporters would be you just basically say, instead of going to query all of these APIs, you just ask the AI agent, what is the price of Bitcoin or whatever the query is. And this would obviously work very well. Even like if we move into like the CPI things, you could say, what's the price of a burger in India? Some of the problems that come with it would be, how do you know it's telling you the truth? and what you exactly, because like a lot of times, like with the price of Bitcoin, for instance, like you want the price of Bitcoin, but like if it gives you a price that's 1% off or 2 hours old, that doesn't necessarily help you, even though it's probably correct in the majority of things. And same with if you want like specific sources, we would have to really tweak it to be very specific, almost to the point of it just calling an API in general. So I think you would see some issues around there. I think the potential benefit for us using it would be just like, rather than having to write API connectors, hopefully it could do it for us. Basically, like it could, you could be more specific with the data specifications, and the AI could figure out how to call them. And then maybe if in the future, like I know some people are working on ZK TLS signatures, so you could verify, the AI could verify that it's actually coming from these sources, and that would be maybe a way to have some sort of provenance over the data. That's one of the challenges, but like we could easily just plug it in and say like AI agents are reporters. How much we would want to jump into that narrative, maybe.
Yeah, I think, I don't know about just reporters. Obviously, the risk is still there, but for me, they have I see them more as they would be really useful for data collection, data quality. I think we would have to play with them to see if they could help with that, or we can have enough or proper instructions to get them to be that. But in terms of data collection, I think like bots, they could be pretty powerful. It seems like it takes a little bit of less of a lift to collect data.
So yeah, I mean, so I'm sure at some point over this next year, we'll set up some AI agent reporters. and we can start playing around with it. I think some of us already are playing around with it. It's just, you know, we want to actually, I think like a lot of people in the AI space, you want to actually find a good use case for these things. You know, like you can plug it into a social media bot, but is it actually creating good social media? Still debatable. So I think, you know, once you get over the novelty of the fact that it's a computer program doing it, what's the actual utility? And that's something that will probably
And
be.
quality, you know, it's like
Yeah.
utility and quality. You can automate a lot of things, but utility and quality, it's something that you actually have to think about and even design that may or may not be as easy to do just with AI.
Yeah. So
One thing that what they're doing with AI agents now, like what meme coins are doing with them, or I guess they're not meme coins, they're like AI agent coins, but what is the agent actually doing? And I think what the agents are doing is like managing the liquidity in the pools and like buying and selling the token and like making trades and things is mostly what they do now.
it's like the same as a bot, just like sort of
Yeah.
yeah, you know what I mean? It's not.
Well, and they can access it from Twitter and like tell it to do things from Twitter so that people can see that publicly, which is interesting for people.
Yeah. But I mean, and then the other piece too for decentralization, like we obviously wouldn't be running any of it. Like that's a big problem I have with all these AI meme coins and stuff like that. Like there's still somebody who's running this thing. Like, and it's
the fact that they have so much control over the coin is bad, actually. I mean, to be honest,
There's somebody running this thing, and then that server is also like calling the Claude API and depending on that too.
There's like a whole bunch of points of somebody could come in and rug this whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's, yeah.
But it's fun. It's fun.
It's fun.
It's fun.
It is.
At the ETH Global in Brussels, I forget which team did it, but a person made a LLM type Claude thing that was deterministic and showed like where it actually got the data from. So theoretically, in that, if you had something like that, you could make like a AI agent network where everybody has to agree that it reached the right conclusion. But yeah.
Yep. Yeah, no, I mean, like that's actually what I see as like, you know, sort of the next step for it, because like, I mean, like we have like, if you have the world's computer of Ethereum, an agent is kind of like a computer. How do you make sure we're all running the exact same software? You like all come to consensus on everything that it does, right? So like you could easily just, we all run the exact same AI, deterministic AI code and make a blockchain out of it. And it's like, it's very, very similar, but it's, then again, you have all the throughput decentralization problems that normal blockchains have. Because it's still just people running computers and coming to consensus. So hard stuff.
I'm no expert on this totally, but yeah, I've looked into that determinism thing. Apparently, like all these models are using like floating points in the background, and that means they're not very deterministic. You can give them the same input and always get different outputs. So we need someone to solve that. To call to go solve that.
Yep. All right, moving on. Hopefully that was hopefully Threx, that was a satisfying answer. Next one, we hope the team from Sod. We hope the team will disclose the launch date. It is very late. It was supposed to be launched in December, and now we will finish in 1 month. I know that you are really aware, but it is better to inform us. Thank you. So, yeah, I can take this one, I guess. No, it's frustrating for all of us. I think it's definitely taking longer than expected, but we want to put out something of quality for you guys. We want to make sure that it's something that you guys can work with, and it's something that isn't going to sort of go down on you. That said, we're pushing. You know, you guys see us here every week. We're writing code. We're being open and honest. You guys can come in the GitHub if you want to try and spin it up yourselves, or just we're not launching the test net yet just because we keep kind of restarting it and hitting bugs. So we kind of want the ability to iterate a little bit faster on it. But yeah, we're keeping you guys up to date and should be soon, but we feel your pain too. So thanks for the question, Saad. All right. Last question, I think. Would the Tellor team consider meeting with the new administration in DC to pitch the value proposition of the project? I ask because the team is US based, and I've heard you all discuss in the past ideas such as creating a decentralized consumer price index. From a biz dev and visibility standpoint, this could really be a boon for the project. All right.
If you can get us a meeting with the administration, I'm happy to meet with them. But on that point, I am very active in the DC DAO. DC DAO is, I'm actually one of the stewards, and we started it last year to basically bring or give a voice to developers in DC, rather than, there's a lot of, I guess there's a lot of policy groups, at least 2 of them that are very prominent in the DC area that do a lot of lobbying for crypto. But we wanted also to give a voice to all of those projects that are out there and basically showcase them so that politicians and everybody, educate the population as well, that crypto is so much more than what politicians sometimes make it to be. They a lot of the times they focus on all the negatives and fraud and all of the negatives. And so we created this entity to start, bringing the focus or shifting the focus to developers. We had ETC last year, was the first one. It was a great success, and we're doing it again this year. We'll see. We always invite people from the Hill, to come and listen to all the devs and all the cool things that we're building. So we'll see with this administration what is the appetite for them to actually get involved this deeply. But if you have contacts, happy to chat with them.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing too, like I think one way to piss off people in actual administration is to meet with them and tell them your value prop. What's our actual ask of any administration here? This is something people in crypto are always oh, go talk to politicians and tell them we're pro crypto, but being pro crypto isn't that's not an actionable item necessarily. The Coinbase and the Uniswaps who are actually pushing for regulations, they have very specific asks that probably most of us would be against. In my mind, what would our ask be of the administration? Maybe buy our coin, put us in the strategic Bitcoin reserve. But other than that, it's you hope that, listen, we're it seems, especially for this administration, it seems like they're pro crypto. They're not going to ban us. We're going to be just fine. Kind of, I would rather you not pass regulations than and just kind of let innovation happen. So yeah, it's people have asked me before, what sort of regulations would you like to see passed in the crypto space? And it's a really, really hard question. Because when you actually get into the specifics, it's not clear what regulations we want.
I honestly feel like at this point the industry is so nascent that what we need is to be left alone and for them to focus on fraud, things that are actually having a direct effect on users. But other than that, allow people to experiment with the technology, to push it forward, and stop debanking founders. Stop doing all of these random things that they were doing. Other than that, I feel like hands off is probably the best for now. I agree with you, Nick, that a lot of these bigger entities, they really want to raise those barriers of entry, and I don't think we're at a point where we should be doing that or pushing for that, because we have so much room to grow as an industry.
Yeah, so just our thoughts, but then again, we are staying active. We're keeping up to date with it, and hopefully, maybe we will be in the strategic crypto reserve of the U.S. here. Anyway, any other questions, Ryan or Spuddy?
I think that was it.
No,
Alright.
that was it. And we did get more questions, but they're along the same lines of when is the testnet. So we answered that one.
Cool.
Yeah, and for the testnet, I mean, definitely we're working really hard to get it out there. Just want to make sure that everybody's aware there is no airdrop. There's no reason to be so so frustrated if that's what you're trying to get to. There's not going to be an airdrop. We're not launching a new token. So just be patient, and I guarantee you we're going to provide something of quality. So I'd rather do that and take a little bit more time than just have you guys be making changes every week and us having to slow down because we're also trying to get you guys up to speed.
I think we want the tools to be there for everybody to use the chain too.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone.